I would like to dedicate this to my good, now gone friend, Raymond Fetterman. He was a friend to us all. I think that's the wonderful thing. Since he left, this morning I had email from on my blog that came from a person in India who I don't know, and who said, I'm so sad to hear this because for the last 10 years, every month I had mail from Raymond with a story or a poem or just some words, and he called me his Indian friend. And we don't know who these people are, but Raymond was a friend to everybody in the world. So it really is sadness to see him gone. I will read from 3 different works. The first one is from the Meditations on the Stations of Mansur al-Hallaj. And Mansur al-Hallaj was a 10th century Baghdadi mystic poet and Sufi master. And he one day had the maybe unhappy idea of saying in Arabic, Ana al-Haq, which means, I would translate it as, I'm the one. But al-Haq is also one of the names of Allah, so I'm the just one, I'm this. And of course the politic powers and the religious powers didn't like that, so they threw him in jail, tortured him, kept him in jail for 10 years before killing him. I started this sequence of poems right after the Americans began another invasion of Baghdad and the destruction of Baghdad, sinking of him. And what I found was 40 words that are the stations, the mawqif in his thinking, and somebody had translated them into English and put the Arabic words with it. So I decided to take that structure and write 40 poems. I have 38, but I would like to wait until the last American troop is out of Baghdad to write the last 3. So I read a few of those. 1. Manners, adab. What is the manner? The matter with you standing there in the desert? Take your hands out of your pockets. The desert has no manners, but many pockets, which is no excuse for your lack of know-how when it comes to sharing. The last pinch of hot sand and mica hides as lint in the pockets of your heart. 2. Awe, rahab. The awe is in gawking. When you see it, it scares you. Where it's the unseen, you seem to want to care for, even though it scars you to face the awe that is not in the thing or the it, but between the two. It's the relation a we can be. 3. Fatigue, nasab. Tiredness of the beginning century, go into it, the fatigue. Let it round off the all too nervy edges, loosen the tie, dye the saffron heart, take heart in fat and gay. No sob, but reinvent a hammock. Act with languor as you slip beneath the tent, O Sheikh. And if anybody heard the reference to Fats Domino in there, famous song that got banned here because it was too sexy whenever it came out. Okay, let me move on with this here. 8. Avidity, shara. 1. The opposite of sharing does not invite. A city is full of it. The old country slogan, ora et labora, has only its rhyme scheme left. After the laughter, the fat of greed dissolves, a shard remembrance, a haram on the greedy king of kings. If you don't believe, go to the avidity primer. This is a method, not a product. Use it with any kit. 2. The word crossed over, lost its moral on the way to the lab. Here in it, the dissociation-dependent strength of any acid or base. a protein shark in uncooked egg whites hogs the biotin we need to live, and it needs bacteria, yeasts, molds, algae, some plant life. Of course, it can be bottled, and we beat any lower price. It's all in the brand name, and we've got that sewn up. 9. Probity, nazar. Lament its absence among those who govern. 17. Existence, wujud. 1. If the talk is of a three-pronged fork, he translates it as a three-pronged fork, so that the literal existence of the thing does not get lost in translation. 2. I came here screaming, they tell me, maybe worried that I'll leave as loudly or lowly, but there is no high exit, only a sinking out of existence, an impossible witnessing. And that was in the first 21 were published in a gorgeous little chapbook by my friend, the poet and student Christopher Rizzo, in Anchorite Press. Beautiful. Tom Ravis was at the house a couple of weeks ago, and I gave him a copy and he said, finally a book well done. I haven't seen one in ages. Loved. And Tom is somebody who really knows what little press books should look like. So Anchorite Press does gorgeous work. Let me see what I want to do here. Preparation, idad. Après is too late for reparation. I should have talked to him before his death, for which neither he nor I were prepared, whoever is for that event except in a novel or a newbie to life, someone for whom there's no before as yet or après as not yet, and thus prepare yourself for nothing is coming. 23. Isolation, infirad. I'm infuriated by isolation, but it is the only eye there is under the sun. Its wheel rolls out of infrared, ultra-violent blue of sun's stroke, post-isolation, post to stand there on the corner of the desert. This life wants to make of us all unfinished by isolation. An eye in iso-elation plays with itself, hands in pockets. It stands not yet endangered. Species am endangering, isolato americano, on the corner of any deserted street between here and here, the pocket billiards of empire in isolation. And let me do one of the late ones in the sequence. In fact, the last one typed up, which is a bit longer. They tend to get longer. I think I'm waiting for the end of the war, so it will be an epic yet, right? 36. Non-acceptance. Raft. R-A-F-D would be the transliteration. It is a rough day if no acceptance. The mica lost its glitter. The bowl doesn't accept the piston, makes it sing. Too bad, Tibet, fraught with ends that do not meet. The desert will not accept the imposition, will not let you sit on it. You have to move, accept it or not. 2. The turndown was polite but very firm. His proposals were met with rejection. And yet non-acceptance can be found. Click here to start your free trial. Failure to honor a negotiable instrument, such as a bill of exchange, when failure of drawee to accept the duly presented and valid bill of exchange, such as a site draft. The drawer then has the legal right to start a court action called privilege.